The battle over sanctuary cities sparks a scuffle inside the Texas legislature as protesters flooded outside the Texas Capitol building yesterday over a new law looking to crack down on sanctuary cities. Lawmakers themselves, as you can see, became pretty rowdy, pushing and shoving on the House floor. The state law, which goes into effect September 1st, allows the state to fine cities and counties up to $25,000 a day for acting as sanctuaries. Here now is a co-sponsor of the bill, Texas State Representative James White. As I have it, Representative, you were actually there on the floor when it happened. What did happen?
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm extremely proud to represent 5 great counties in southeast Texas. And I just think we saw a physical struggle on the floor. It was a little confusion on the floor yesterday, sir.
Well, I'm told, or at least one of the accounts suggested that there was actually a death threat. Is that true?
I don't know if that's true or not. I just think this is such an unfortunate situation. Honestly, I would have liked to have seen the same fighting spirit, not necessarily a physical fight, but a same fighting spirit on the Second Amendment, protecting the rights of the preborn, or even, you know, fighting this burdensome property taxes here we have in Texas.
A lot of people do say that they should spend their energy on something else, something more constructive, but there was one representative, Pancho Navarez, who was the man who allegedly made a threat. I'm just wondering, is he going to be investigated?
Well, obviously any type of threat against someone, that's an investigation that really involves either the House Government and Ethics Reform Committee or maybe even law enforcement. I didn't hear of such threat. Obviously, my colleague stated a threat was lodged against him, but I mean, that's something for law enforcement to deal with.
Well, how is all of this affecting, if at all, public opinion in Texas about the sanctuary law?
Well, I don't think it should affect public opinion in any way, because this is the fact here. SB 4 is a piece of legislation that gives direction to law enforcement agencies, not necessarily individual citizens or even members of the Texas House.
But have opinions changed at all? I mean, I know there's a lot of snap polling going on about this particular law. The last I heard, there was a plurality of people who were in favor of it, but that number was shrinking a little bit. Is that right?
Well, we have to look at it this way. Senate Bill 4 is an anti-sanctuary cities piece of legislation. It directs law enforcement to respond to Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, that is ICE detainers. That's all it does. It's just good law enforcement legislation, and even the opponents have admitted that until we pass this legislation, or at least currently, about 98–97% of those ICE detainers are being responded to by local law enforcement here in Texas. Yeah. So I don't see it as I don't see this incident on the House floor having any impact on this piece of legislation.
Okay. Well, I hope things calm down a little bit, because, as you say, there's some important issues to be dealt with down there on the legislative floor. James White, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much for having me on this evening.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.